Good morning. I just woke up angry. Well, I was happy because I was having a bunch of extremely surreal, beautiful dreams with amazing plot lines. And the sad thing is, the second I woke up, I don't remember any of it. I remember the vaguest details ever. I'll put it this way. For the past several nights, I've been having these really, really, really surreal dreams that feel like adventures. And mind you, I pretty much, like, my sleep schedule's been fucked, yes, but it's like I haven't drinking caffeine in like 24 hours or so, and it wasn't even that much in my system, at least what I think. But oh no, that's not the point of this video though. The point is, I woke up from that beautiful, amazing dream. There was a bunch of cool shit. Like I was a space cadet, I was a traveler, I exchanged exotic goods. It was wonderful. You wanna know? You wanna know what happened? I woke up from the dream and went back to reality. And I know I shouldn't have done it. I probably should have written down as many details as I can in my dream journal. I should have, but I didn't. Instead, I grabbed my phone, and does the new nigga I low key, do I even want them? I just like them. That's the difference. This new nigga I like didn't text me back. And then I checked Instagram, no real messages. And then I thought about Mitchell, and I thought about his family. And then I managed to upset myself within just a few minutes of waking up. Now, I guess what's the topic of today's video gonna be? I'm not too sure. I picked up this phone just because I feel like talking and getting whatever I can out of my system. To figure out how I feel, so I hope if you're cool with that and you're down with that, then let's go. I don't know. This is another reason I got pissed off. Sometime last night, I was recording a video. It was one of the last two videos I made and have uploaded. But it specifically was about how I felt like a memory with Mitchell that I forgot I had. It was a memory, and I don't know, I've been remembering stuff about him. Some of that was really good, some that was really bad. For example, a really bad memory of him that I remembered recently, and it made my chest start burning with how angry I fucking was. I remember at some point, you know how we stopped talking for a month, and then some point in like late January he called me, and then we had a 9-hour phone call, and then we were like sort of friends for a week. Like things almost went semi-normal between us. That was nice ish. But even then, I still remembered on the phone call the way he wasn't truly apologetic for what he did. I wasn't getting off his neck because I knew that it's like, no, like I spent all month regretting the phone response I had when Mitchell was first ever so gently confronted about what he tried to do with me when I was way too fucking drunk in that hotel room the first night we met. Like, that was fucked up of him. And like I remember like way back to like the third day of our Christmas hangout when he did it, when like it just got passively mentioned. Like I didn't even say too much. But even then he just kept trying to allude, yeah, it would have been better. Yeah, we really should have waited until like after dinner to have sex. I could have unwrapped you like a gift. It would have been more special that way. We should have done that. And I was like, we? And he was like, excuse me? And I was like, we? I was the one who didn't really want to have sex, and you knew that. I said no a bunch of times. Like, come on now, Mitchell. Let's be for real. And he got really, really agitated and fucking like pissed and scared and shit. And he just immediately was like, his reaction was kind of just like, you think I'm a fucking rapist now? What, you're saying I raped you? You're saying I hurt you? Yeah, and he got really, really manipulative. And now, mind you, picture this. You're at a bus stop, you're trying to have a good night. You got your nigga with you, Mitchell. He's being a fucking mess. Or he's like, it's like, I was really wasted again at that bus stop because we were drinking sherry and stuff together at the hotel lobby. Again, it was something we did a lot that week. And that was the night where tensions got really high. I just remembered the way he was like, you think I'm a fucking rapist now? You think I would do that? No. Wait, what? Like, and he kept, but the way he did it, the specific way he was acting, he was like fuming and he was like insulted that I was saying that and kept trying to like seemingly act like it didn't happen and gaslighting me. Now, did I fall in response a little bit? Yeah. I still was like, hey, Mitchell, listen, clearly I don't see you as just this overall truly terrible person to your core. Otherwise, I wouldn't fucking be here talking to you in the first place, now would I? And tensions got really high that night. But at the same time, I still didn't get my foot up off his neck. I still remember he tried to say the line of, I don't get why you just didn't say no. And I said, I did say no. And he said, okay, well, no doesn't always work on me. And I said, no doesn't always work on you. And he was like, that's not what I meant. I just mean, like, you should have said it differently. And I said, and I locked in. I was like, so let me get this straight. So if you are on top of a woman and you hear her saying, no, please stop. No, I don't want to do this. Wait, no, please get off me. No, no, no. And you still decide to keep going. Like, I said no in a million different variations while showing full body language for like disgust, exhaustion, all that, pushing you away. You're saying it's still on me to say it like a lucky number 19th time for you to finally get the fuck off of me? And like, that did have him gagged. And then he just kept going back to his sad boy response. He kept flipping back between anger and gaslighting, and then intense sadness and the active, oh, I'm such a terrible person, aren't I? You might not want to be around me. Like, shut the fuck up. Now, mind you, like, I don't know, we still somehow managed to get past that because other things got discussed that night. He talked about his, like, his self-hatred got brought up, and one thing led to another. Plus, I hit my head really hard on the bus stop that night. Mitchell doesn't remember that evening because he's got intense ADHD and he's a fucking idiot who wants to gaslight me, so of course he would even pretend he didn't remember certain things. Plus, he was also pretty drunk, and I was pretty drunk. I just have extremely photographic memory. Anyway, sorry, I know this video is already a little long. Moving on, me and Mitchell. What happened? Oh yeah, after he pretty much vanished for the entire month of January and fucked up my heart that way, and my mind and my body, Mitchell, eventually he called me, only because he knew there was going to eventually be consequences involving me telling his mother. Men don't like when you're about to tell on them to their mommy. So he called me and he started hyperventilating and having a panic attack or whatever. And he kept repeating that he's sorry and that he didn't know what he was doing when he did it. And I said, no, you did. And if you're truly sorry, how about this? If you're truly sorry, and I said this because I knew he was an alleged Christian, I said, if you're truly sorry, swear on the life of you and your family. Not your parents. I know you don't like your parents. Swear on the life of your family, like including your brother. Swear on the life of you, your mom, your dad, your brother, and say that you truly didn't mean for anything to happen to me, that you didn't know that you were trying to sexually assault me, that you didn't hear me say no, and that you didn't mean to do anything without my consent, and that you truly feel bad about it. I want you to guess how many times it took him to finally say the words, I swear on my fucking life and my entire family to Mia that I didn't do it. I want you to guess how long it took. Like 21 fucking times, roughly. Like, at bare minimum, like 18 different times of him, like, trying to say the sentence but then not being able to finish it. And I just thought to myself, this guy is such a fucking asshole. Holy shit. Like, wow. It's good to know he's superstitious, but it's because it's like, he was probably just fucking afraid that it's like, oh my god, God's gonna smite my fucking family if I say this shit. I knew what I was doing to her. But he wasn't gonna admit it, so if anyone in his family gets struck by lightning or gets a diagnosis for something very scary soon, we know who is the reason to blame for that. Mitchell! Pride is a sin, lust is a sin, rage is a sin, gluttony is a sin. That man is a sinner! Mitchell's fucking greatest sin of all is that he has done a lot of dirty things to me and in his lifetime, and he wants someone who's pure with a clean slate. No, nigga, you deserve someone just as fucking terrible as you. If that's even possible. Or at least just as flawed and ran through and just like you. He looks at someone like me and he's like, she's perfect, but she's also possibly a little psychotic and this, and that. I don't want her. But then deep down he really does. Or did, past tense. And it's like, you're gonna rate on the perfect Christian woman with a low body count who is totally, totally obedient and all this shit, and you are going to fuck that up when you get it as well. He's just that type of guy. He fucks everything up. What's up with men and fucking things up? Also, sorry if this video is a bit all over the place. I have non-linear storytelling because I potentially also have ADHD. Also, I'm exhausted and just trying to talk until I can feel myself not be so how I feel. Oh yeah, but that 9-hour phone call with Mitchell, it started off so bad. Because, and even then, at some point, he did just keep trying to rewrite history or gaslight me repeatedly. And I remember at some point, he was like, oh, like, I told him about the bus stop incident. You know, I brought up things he said and all that. And he kept being like, that's not true. I would never say something like that. I did not say that. I said, you literally did, though. You 100% did. Just acknowledge that you said it. I'm not judging you too hard. Otherwise, I wouldn't fucking be here on the phone with your bitch ass talking about it. So you can just own up to your mistakes, Mitchell. It doesn't mean that I'm going to see you as some evil, demonic person. I'll probably just see you a lot better than what you're trying to be. You don't have to, like, you know, someone said recently that men have this thing where they have cognitive dissonance, where they see some things as bad, but they also want to do what they want. And then if you tell them, hey, that thing you did where you did what you want was also bad, then some of them really can't handle that because they want to see themselves as a good guy, you know? Kind of like a Jimmy for mouthwashing or whatever, if, like, that's a good reasoning. And some people, like, but at some point, I remember, just to test him, because he kept saying, I remember that night too. I remember that night too. I did not fucking say that. There's no way in hell I said that about things he 100% fucking said. Like, I can swear on my life and God and my family and fucking say he said the shit he did. Because I have no reason to lie. Like, nigga, you trust yourself so little that it took you fucking a million tries just to be able to stutter out the words, I swear on the life of me and my family that I didn't mean to hurt you and didn't know what I was doing. And this, and that. And he stuttered. It's like, nigga, you are going to hell. You are going to hell. Oh, but as I was saying. Oh, yeah. During the 9 hour phone call, he tried the gaslighting shit again. And I just kind of, and he kept saying, like, that did not happen. That was not true. I did not say that. And at some point, I tested him. I was going to say, actually, I'm going to test you. You want to know what happened after this guy? Mitchell, do you remember, like, when I was on the floor at the bus stop? He was like, you on the floor at the bus stop? Why were you doing that? What? No, you weren't. And I said, I fucking remembered that I was, nigga. That's literally one of my most core memories of this hangout. The fact that you don't even remember that says a lot. And he was like, yeah, I remember it kind of, I guess. Why? I said, okay. Do you remember how I got on the floor? He was like, what the fuck does that matter? No, I don't. What, like, what? We were just talking and you sat on the floor. What? And I said, I slammed my head against the bus stop, Mitchell. I got a whole fucking concussion, nigga. He was like, you got a what? And he just was so surprised to hear that, because I think he actually genuinely forgot a big portion of that evening. I'm surprised he forgot this part. He's got something with his brain. Jesus. And in a nutshell, I was like, you want to know how I got on the floor and how I started slamming my head against the wall and all this shit? Like, and I said, Mitchell, and he was like, you did not slam your head against the bus stop. No, I would remember something like that. And I said, you should have. I'm really surprised you don't, considering you made direct eye contact with me. You were watching me do it. You didn't even move a single bit. You just sat there and stared at me emotionlessly. And he just immediately hearing that, he was like, what the fuck? And he was like, you think I just sat there and stared at you like a fucking, what, you're just saying I sat there and stared at you like a fucking psychopath to me? Is that what you're saying? I said, yes. He was like, what, you're just saying, like, what? You're saying that I just sat there doing like, you hurt yourself in front of me and I did nothing. I didn't move a single inch or show any emotion like a fucking serial killer. I said, yeah, you did. I thought it was weird as fuck too. I was just as shocked as you are. If I didn't read too much into it, I just thought to myself, okay, maybe this nigga just doesn't feel things. It's like, okay, but I still kept hanging out with you after it, so clearly it didn't spook me that bad. I was like, that's weird of him, but then again, I was the one slamming my head against a bus stop, so people have their reactions and coping mechanisms, I don't know. But he was so hung up on that, and he just was like, what the fuck, like, you're lying, you're making this shit up. I said, no, that 1000%, swear on my life and my family and my God, that 100%, 1000% happened. I slammed my head on that bus stop, and you sat there, hands together, feet separate, sitting at the bus stop, just staring at me. Like, at most you blinked, like, once when it happened. And then I fell on the ground. And then more happened that should scare you, and I'm surprised you don't remember that at all, because it's huge stuff that happened. You should remember it. And he just kept denying that it ever happened, denying. Whether it's because he truly forgot, or because he just didn't want to look bad and be held accountable, or even be recognized that at some point he did look like a weirdo. Like, whatever. But even then, it'd be the pot calling the kettle black. It's like, bitch, I'm the one slamming my head on a bus stop. So, okay. I'm not saying I'm the beacon of maturity and mental stability myself, but it's like, good God, dude, at least try. I remember this man, he was like, oh, what? So, like, everything I say just never fucking happened. And everything you say is just totally true. and I just conveniently don't remember anything that happened that makes me look like the bad guy. I said, yes. He was like, so I'm just some fucking psycho who just is lying and trying to change history, and just everything you say is true. Just every single thing that you say is 100% accurate and right all the time. I said, yes, you even complimented me on my memory several times. I have photographic memory, Mitchell. I'm not going to forget things like that. And he just kept raging and raging and raging because, and it's like, but I didn't fawn response this time. I did not let up off that nigga's neck. I was just like, at most I said, clearly I'm still here talking to you. You're the one making a fit out of it more than I even am. But I'm just saying, you're out here saying shit didn't happen. Whole time you can't even remember huge pivotal moments that happened between us. Like, it's so funny because I remember exactly what happened. I remember specifically, he was really pissing me off with his insecurity bullshit because anytime I said something good his way, he kept saying something terrible or trying to accuse me of something. Like, he just kept trying to accuse me of not genuinely liking him or that I must truly be having a terrible time. And he also, I remember, yeah, fuck, I remember this part. I see why Mitchell wants to revise history. Also at the bus stop, before shit fully hit the fan with the head slamming, I remember specifically he kept trying to be like, I don't. He kept saying he didn't like the way that at some point I just left sex and cut off sex for the rest of the night. I said I didn't cut off sex for the rest of the night. I fully tried to have sex with you later again that evening multiple times. Like, you can't just say that I tried to never have sex with you again and cut you off to punish you. And even then, what? I don't deserve the right to just end sex and leave. And he had some anger just rooted in, like, can't believe to me it just. It's like, mind you, when we did have sex, or at least, like, or I wouldn't even call that sex. I'll put it this way: when he was trying to rape me when I was drunk, and at some point I just gave in, or at least tried to see if I could handle it because I thought, okay, he's clearly not gonna let me go, and I guess I wanted sex with, like, it's just at a different time. But wow, I'm wasted and I don't like this, and like, also, he just was way too rough. Like, I remember he smacked my ass with the force of, like, how you imagine you'd smack your greatest fucking rival. And I told him well in advance that I like sensual, slow, soft sex. I don't get why he thought to fucking do that. It literally hurt so bad that my ass stung for, like, hours, and not a full fucking 24 hours after that. And he kissed weird. Like, he did this thing where he just shoved his entire tongue into my mouth. Like, no movement, no anything. It was just like, he, I hate to say it, and I'm gonna say it. He fucked like someone body swapped his mind with a 13-year-old boy who had never had sex before. I just, like, wow. It's so funny how still 2 months later I still kind of think about him sexually, but I do kind of forget. It's like, he wasn't exactly showing that he was the best person nor the best fuck with the information he showed you. Like, holy shit. Like, in my little fantasies or little fucked up sleep dreams, I probably imagine him as some fucking god who's amazing at prone bone and this, and that. The whole time, it's like, nah, that he was so terrible. Sorry, I know this is such non-linear storytelling. Bear with me, bear with me. Just, yeah. But I remember specifically, he also hurt my nose. It's like, I remember at some point, several times, the first day we met, it was like a fucked up gag from the universe. We were, because at first we were walking around, his knuckle accidentally connected with the tip of my nose, and then as we were walking around, his umbrella did, and then next thing you know, like a random door did, and then, it stopped being funny after the first, like, 3 times, and then I think it was like 8 separate times I had my nose hit, not by him but by random objects. So you can imagine how it is when it's like, okay, this nigga is trying to force me to have sex with him when I'm drunk, and I'm trying my best to, like, hang in there, but I'm really not feeling this, and he smacked my ass really hard and painful when I already made it clear I don't like that type of stuff. And he's not good at kissing, and this is all going too fast, and he's got way too much foreskin, and he can't even get his dick up. But then, you want to know what the final straw was? His final straw, which made me fully stop, was the fact that at some point, somehow, I forget what he was doing. I think he was trying to jerk himself off, and then his hand flew off of his cock and hit me in the nose. The exact fucking spot on my nose. At this point, my nose started swelling up ridiculously fucking red and started actually swelling because it was like really shit luck for the exact same spot to keep getting hit on accident. So I remember I was like, all right, fuck this. Yeah, no, yeah, we stopping. And I just went to the bathroom and locked myself in there and took a shower. And I remember taking that shower. I thought to myself, should I just leave? because that was really scary what happened in there, and I'm already not comfortable, and it's kind of, the vibes are already really, really fucked up. But I thought to myself, I get the feeling that I should stay, that I might miss out on something great if I don't stay. And I remember how it's just, I'm very annoyed that it's like, imagine a few days after that. And also, mind you, later that night, how do I put this? I was really drunk, so I did forget about, like, what happened, at least mostly. I thought of it as maybe it could just be some sort of passive mistake of his or something. I don't know. I was making excuses in my mind for him. But I showered, then we had a little bit of him consensually eating me out and stuff. We got ready for our date. He started praising my beauty and my looks and my elegance. We had a great time. We went to the restaurant, had a nice, romantic, extremely delicious candlelit dinner, and we enjoyed ourselves. And I had fun that I hadn't had in fucking ages. And then, we went back to the hotel room. And next thing you know, we were in the jacuzzi together. And I remember how most of that went. And let's just say sex ended up, like, we tried to initiate sex several times before we got in the jacuzzi, after we got in the jacuzzi, hell, before we even left the hotel. But even then, it just pissed me off that a few nights later at the bus stop, he was trying to tell me that it's like he was mad at me simply for ending sex. He was like, I don't like the way you just walked away and left sex like that. It's like, yeah, nigga, of course you wouldn't, because you were trying to rape me and force me to fuck you. Boo hoo. And then he was like, no, it just felt like you were trying to end sex. Like, it just felt like, why is it on you to just be able to walk away and end sex for the rest of the night? No offense, that does sound like a really rapey sentiment. And I brought that up to him like a month later during that phone call. And he kept trying to be like, why the fuck would I say something like that? That's so rapey and predatory. And I said, I don't know, nigga. You're the one who said it. It's like, yeah, that's a weird thing to say. I remember when I was really drunk at that bus stop, I kind of just assumed he was foolish or didn't remember the evening. And I told him, no, we tried to have sex several times later that evening. Shut the fuck up. But specifically, so I know I'm like, imagine how I felt during the phone call after a month of simmering on it and being like, wow, that actually is a 10 times more rapey sentiment. What the fuck do you mean I can't choose to walk away from sex? What the fuck do you mean I can't choose to my own, to, like, what do you mean sex needs to have a two-party voting system where if I don't give consent but you do, I have to see it through, even when you're hurting me in physical pain? Hell, I brought it up to him at that bus stop. I brought it up to him how a big reason I stopped, but I said this mainly because I was drunk and just trying to comfort him, but I knew what he did to me was wrong. I just wanted to disarm him a bit because he was getting really, really abrasive and defensive and fucked up. Also, I have to admit, I did have feelings for him. I didn't like seeing that man look so distraught, even though he knew how I looked distraught, and he didn't do nothing, even when he tried to rape me, and even after when I slammed my head on the bus stop. He's not that good of a person. If I could kill Mitchell, I probably would, but, let's pretend I didn't say that in Mitchell-esque fashion. But yeah, I remember at the bus stop, I told him a huge portion to why I left is because you kept causing me physical pain, even when I was trying to consent. Like, yeah, and he just kept trying to find ways to make it all about him, him, him. Him, him, him. Like, oh, you didn't think about how that would make me feel? And I said, I mean, I was thinking about how I felt. Because, like, yeah, Mitchell, I got punched in the nose hell of times in the same day, on accident or not. It still doesn't change the fact that it's like I keep getting physically hurt, and I wanted to wait to have sex where we were both sober and both consenting, and where I would not be physically fucking injured. Like, and I told him, imagine if I was in a situation where I kept accidentally hitting you in the balls, and the first time it's funny, the second time it's just like a fucked up coincidence, but still a little funny, and then by the eighth time, and then especially when you're trying to fuck me, I keep hitting you in the balls. And then eventually you wouldn't find it funny anymore. And then if you were like, okay, I don't want to have sex because even during sex you're finding ways to accidentally injure me, let's pause until later. Like, I would be like, yeah, totally understandable, and I'm sorry. You're out here trying to act like I'm a bad guy for simply not wanting to fuck you anymore because I didn't want to have sex in the first place, and because you kept hitting me in the nose or whacking my ass hella hard or doing moves that you knew I didn't like. Like, what the fuck? Mitchell really sucks. Like, it sucks that I've had my rose-colored glasses on about him for the longest time, instead of just seeing him for what he truly is. A scum-sucking piece of shit. My heart feels sad, because even as I go through this, I'm just like, Mitchell is not a good guy. I wanted him to be, but he is not. He is a pathetic man. At absolute best, he is a gaslighting, semi-narcissistic, motherfucking, rapey dude who enjoys trying to revise history instead of just admitting that he has flaws, and prefers to see flaws in others instead of himself. And when he sees flaws in himself, they will be the dumbest shit ever. Like, Jesus Christ. It's like, what a stupid way to treat the girl that loves you, man. Loved you. What a terrible person. And I truly, at my core, I really did like Mitchell. And it just sucks that it has to be this way. But I'll say it like this. I remember after I slammed my head at that bus stop on the third day of our Christmas hangout, he didn't do anything. But then this is the part he doesn't remember. And it's so funny, in the 9-hour phone call, I kept asking him, okay, if you have such a good memory, tell me what happened next. Tell me what happened after the head slamming. Because clearly you say that some things happened and some things didn't with such confidence that I want you to tell me what happened after the head slamming. He was not able to tell me at all. So I'll be able to tell you because I remember what happened. I slammed my head against the bus stop really hard, like 3 fucking times, against the glass and a little bit of the metal. That shit hurt. I fell to my knees, wincing in pain, holding my head like, oh, 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 that fucking hurt. Oh, that was silly. Oh, my head hurts. And I started talking to myself a little bit. I was like, my head hurts. Yeah, I just slammed it against the bus stop, so that explains it. Oh, it hurts. Yeah, that tends to happen. And, he sat there still emotionally staring at me, not moving, not having any sort of reaction. I thought he was so strange. And I remember I did this not just because I thought to myself, I want to see if he can have a reaction, but I did it also because I was in an extreme emotional disrepair. I was veering towards a blackout, and especially, I just thought to myself, this is so embarrassing. Here I am at a bus stop with a guy who doesn't believe that I truly like him, and who won't listen to a goddamn thing I said, whether it's about me and the respect that I deserve and the consent that I deserve and the rights that I have to end sex and be able to walk away and end it for the rest of the night if I want to, but how I also did not end sex for the rest of the night. We tried to fuck several more times after that, and he's out, and just like his self-pity party, his little circle jerk pity party was getting to me. Because anytime I did say anything positive about him at all, because another thing that came up with him that night in that same conversation was how he truly thought that I didn't like him, how he was really scared the entire fucking week because he couldn't fully get it up to fuck me, and he thought I hated him for it, and he thought that I resented him, and just Mitchell, what a fucking idiot. I had a lot of feelings for him. It's a shame it had to be this way. But at the bus stop, I remember eventually I pulled my switchblade out of my pocket. My vision started blurring already. I ripped it out and I was gonna put it to my wrist, but then his eyes got wide. He said, "Hey, hey!" and he started reaching for it. And me, like a fucking 4-year-old, trying to hide the fucking, I don't know, the shit they shouldn't be eating, like like a lollipop they found on the ground at the playground from their mom. I just fucking just hid that shit behind my back and was like, no. And he just sat down and he was like, Tamia, Tamia, really? You would do that? You would do something like that? And I was like, yes, obviously. And I forget what, I think this is what I remember. Yeah, he said this, and it was stupid of him. He said, you would stab me? And I thought to myself, nigga, I was putting that shit against my own wrist. You thought I was gonna stab you? Even though he should have. I see why he would have thought I would have stabbed him. He would have had it fucking coming. But still, no. I remember I looked at him and said, no, I fucking like you. I like you. I wouldn't fucking stab you. I actually like you a lot. And I put it in my pocket. I remember, sorry, I said that non-linearly again. What happened specifically when he was like, Tamia, you would do that? I said, yes, obviously. And he tried to take that, he was like, I can't believe you would do that. You would do that? And I forget what specific thing he said, but I looked at him with huge eyes and a wide smile, and I said, fucking take it from me then. And he just kind of stared at me, kind of hurt that I even said that. Like, he actually had genuine hurt in his eyes. Or he just felt emasculated, because it's like, oh, look at you. You got a skinny-ass bitch sitting down at a bus stop with a knife, and you can't even disarm her, whether it's out of care or because you're pathetic or because you're scared. Mitchell is such a handsome man. I have to say it. I know it's like I shouldn't be thinking of him as handsome, but he's a good-looking guy. Okay, he was a ridiculously attractive, fine as fuck man. Do you know? And I still kind of feel a little sad remembering how he looked when he was sad or when he was offended. The way his eyebrows furrowed and his little baby blue eyes. Too bad he's like an evil bastard, but whatever. Anyway, as I was saying. Oh yeah, and then I remember he was like, "You were gonna cut me? You were gonna stab me?" I said, "No, I wasn't gonna fucking hurt you. I like you. I wouldn't do that to you. What the fuck?" And I put my knife away in my pocket, and then I sighed and I looked at him and I said, "How come every time I say something nice to you, you spin it into something bad? It's like you're trying to punish me for liking you." And I don't like saying that I like people. I'm disgusted by complimenting men because they make me feel fucking bad for trying to like them. And it's like I'm being punished for ever liking people or trusting them, and I'm tired of it, and I don't like that. It fucks me up. And I started crying, and then you could see that he really did feel really, really bad. Because I guess he did kind of realize, oh shit, she really does like me. And now she's crying because, like, I could say something to reaffirm that I truly did at the end of the day. I still thought he was a cool, lovely person. You know, I truly had a good opinion of him, and he wasn't believing anything I said. He would find a way. Like, I could say something like he would say something like how he felt like he was fucking up the week by not being able to have sex with me properly because he couldn't get his dick up or anything, and he thought I was secretly simmering and disappointed about that. I said, "When have you seen me not having like a smile from ear to ear all fucking week?" And he still was like, "Yeah, but well," and he kept trying to like dismiss it or not believe me, and even it was so heartbreaking. And just something is very wrong with Mitchell at his core. His self esteem is very, very low. He seems to be fearful avoidant, so he has abandonment issues and also commitment issues. And he has such fragile ego and self esteem, and nothing can repair it, not even me truly loving him. So, you know. But I will say this, we had, just since I don't want to dive back too deep into it, but several times I would tell him something like, "No, I was happy to meet you. I didn't need to have sex to hang out with you. Like, come on, I was online just looking for like what? Like one person to meet up with me for like one day for like boring sex. Like the bar was low, and then I couldn't even finish that sentence before he'd be yelling like, "Really, Tamia? You're gonna say that to me? You're gonna say the bar is low? Really? The bar is low?" And I said, "Yeah, I said that." He said, "The bar is low? Really? You said that to me right now." And I said, "What do you think I was going to say? How do you think I was going to finish that sentence?" Because I didn't finish the sentence. He said, "You're saying that I haven't reached the fucking bar?" And I said, "No, stupid." And I remember the specific way I said stupid. I didn't want to call him stupid, but I was drunk. And I thought that. I was like, "No, idiot." Obviously, I was gonna say that I was looking for people, for someone to what? Fucking fuck me, have sex with me that was gonna be subpar, and then make me like a shitty fucking Stouffer's lasagna. I was just looking for someone to fucking cook for me and fuck me and then leave emotionlessly for like a few hours. And instead, I've had several days of wonderful conversation and vibes and energy and head from you, and I've been enjoying this so fucking much. Like, I'm saying you have well superseded the bar. And I remember I said that, and he just still didn't believe me. He stared at me with such sadness and anger and defensiveness in his eyes, because he truly did not believe that I could enjoy the presence of someone like him. Do you know how sad that is? You could look someone in their eyes. Like, I even said, like, the analogy of imagine if you met Angelina Jolie, and then you were gonna fuck her and you were excited for it, but then her pussy was too tight or she was dry or vagismus or whatever the fuck happened, vagismus, and she couldn't fucking let you in and she's embarrassed about it. But guess what? Are you gonna say fuck no, I don't like you because we can't fuck? No, because that's fucking Angelina Jolie. Obviously you would still be happy to just be in the presence of Angelina Jolie. And he was like, "I don't get your analogy." And I said, "Obviously you're Angelina Jolie in this story, brother." And he still didn't get it. I said, "Obviously I don't need to have sex with you to have a good fucking time. I've been having a great time even without sex with you. Sex, would it be cool? Yes, trust me, I would fuck the shit out of you. Have you seen yourself? Oh my god, I would ride you to smithereens. But simply put, I don't need it. We've been able to have several days where I'm able to just be this fucking happy just from walking in the streets with you and having conversation and hanging out with you. I am happy in a way you can't even believe. So, sex with just a total, like, yeah, like a few hours of sex would have been nothing in comparison to like all the fun I've been having with you so far. It felt like you could feel him getting warmer and liking what I was saying, but still not fully believing it. Anyway, so that and the other topics and just the way he kept trying to deny everything and was being defensive, it was fucking me up. Imagine how you would feel if someone just could not believe that they were loved and you kept trying to show them, but you were also really, really drunk. So I was having a mental episode. I pulled out the knife. Did I stab him? No. Was I gonna cut myself? Yeah. Did his first thought be that he thought I was gonna stab him? Yeah. I reaffirmed that I wasn't. I let him know that I was just really sad because no matter what good I said about him, he still would not get that I just truly, genuinely like his presence, and that it felt like I was being punished for liking him. And then I remember I stood up way too fast while drunk, and I could barely see, and I just said to myself, I gotta go. I need to pee. I'm sad. And I'm not peeing outside again, because mind you, for context, I peed outside. But I'm sure you could guess that from the context of the sentence. Yeah, before we had that bus stop incident, me and Mitchell peed at a. Well, you don't need to know that. You don't need to know that. I'm sorry. And I remember Mitchell's specific way of being like, "Oh, do you want to go to the hotel?" And I kind of thought to myself, "Do I want to hang out with this nigga any longer?" Because at this point, I was kind of like, I should just cut and run. But I was really fucking drunk. And I was like, sure, well, just escort me to the hotel. So he grabbed our bags and we walked back to the hotel. And I went to the bathroom, had a little quiet in there, and had my emotional conflictions came out. He eventually used the restroom himself. And I don't know, I think this is where you can tell that I still truly, at the end of all of the terrible shit that happened with me and Mitchell at that point, I still liked him. Because I remember as he was in the bathroom, I saw that the clock had struck 4 and they had sherry, and I was like, oh, he likes sherry. Like, and I was drunk, and I thought to myself, I know that the worst thing to do would be to get even more drunk in this situation, because I was already experiencing brain inflammation, and that really fucks up my ability to process things normally and gives me a temperament and stuff. But what happened with him, I remember I kind of just was like, I should get him some sherry. Even though I didn't realistically expect him to drink it, I just thought of it as a peace offering. Because I didn't hate him. I didn't. I knew I should have, though, to an extent. But I didn't realize how bad all of this was. And I wasn't able to process the bus stop conversation or what happened the first evening, like, fully well. But I got him sherry, got myself some water. He came back. He was flattered by the sherry. He went and got me some because he figured, it's me like sherry, even though it was the dumbest thing you could think to give me. But it was also his version of a peace offering. And I kind of joked, it's like, oh, thank you for the alcohol. I like how you thought I needed more of this. And I kind of laughed it off. And we tried to reach a sense of normalcy as if we didn't just experience what we experienced. And I guess he decided for himself, he was like, how would you feel about another night here? Just one more night. Because I feel like I want to make sure that you have a safe place to be, and I'm not sure you're going to get home safely in this state. Plus, I want to end things on a good note. He was like, I want to make sure this goes well. And I still remember the sweet way that it felt being on that tiny little cot in the lounge with him as we watched people celebrate their holiday festivities together and the crackling of the fireplace and how beautiful everything was. And I was like, okay, yeah, we can do that. And so guess what? That's exactly what we did. We got a hotel room for the evening. And let's see what else I can remember. Oh, yeah, that was the night that we went back up to the hotel room and we watched the World Chase Tournament on NBC, and we had such a blast watching that. We were reacting to that shit like it was the fucking Super Bowl. And anytime an ad played for Viagra, which I didn't notice was a thing that was happening a lot more now, it's fucking weird. Mitchell kind of laughed and he said, these ads feel really fucking targeted. And we both laughed at that. And I'm pretty sure, like, knowing us, it's like, yeah, I ordered us nachos because, like, we both didn't eat properly for, like, the past few days. We had been having a lot of alcohol. Like, no offense, it's amazing that I remember as much as I do about our trip because there was a lot of alcohol involved, and I don't even drink that much, like, in my day-to-day life. But it was really good sherry. Holy shit. And they had free peanut butter cookies in the lobby at that hotel. But I remember I still cared for him because guess what? Later that evening, we went down to the lobby and I ordered us nachos. Even though he's the one with the money, I still was like, I'm gonna order us some nachos. So and we sat in the lobby and ate them. And I remember the specific way he looked so tired. He was just like endlessly vaping, endlessly vaping, endlessly vaping, and like he was just chilling in front of the fireplace, embracing the warmth in the chairs with me. And every once in a while, as we were talking, like he was still able to talk perfectly fine. We just both had been really, really fucking drunk. I would have to be like, Psst, Mitchell, Mitchell, open your mouth. He'd be like, no, I'm good. I'd be like, open your mouth. He was like, I'm not hungry. I said, of course you're not hungry. You don't have a fucking appetite. You've been thrown off your routine. You've had the last several days of nothing but endless, like, cigarettes, vape, Red Bull, and endless amounts of sherry. You're going to die. Your body's sending you signals that it's not hungry because it's just used to you not eating. You have to eat something. Come on, open your mouth. You're gonna like it. And he opens his mouth and he eats the fucking nacho with a smile because he realized how much I truly did care and also how silly he was being. And, you know, and I think I only got him to eat like 4 fucking chips of nacho that night. And they were the loaded ones too. I wasn't getting him the skimpy chips because it's like, nigga, you are 6'4". You need your fucking calories. Like you're like really, I'm surprised he was. No wonder he was just running on fucking hot air at that point, and also more temperamental because it's like yeah, 2 drunk people at a bus stop, and neither of them have been eating properly because we're both fucking autistic and ADHD motherfuckers who forget that we need to schedule times to eat, or else we'll forget. And then things, yeah, me and Mitchell still had a wonderful time together for most of that trip. We showered, like, he didn't like showers, but he was happy to shower even 3 times a day if it meant that he got to be naked with me under running water. We didn't even fuck. Or at least, like, at most, like, he'd lick me by choice, by his own choice, just because he wanted to see me smile or see me come. That was really hot. But aside from that, we didn't fuck. If we got in the shower, it was truly just because we wanted to embrace someone under warm running water. Or to just, like, have conversation for longer, but also just enjoy the good sensory vibes of, like, warm water and good company. It takes away the bad sensory of like soap and being wet and stuff. It was fun. I still have a lot of good memories of that trip. I do. And I hate that I'm still able to say it. I think to an extent I still loved Mitchell. Loved in past tense. This week, and I like these past few weeks, I kind of have realized I think I really did love Mitchell. I did, and I know you liked me. It was just a week. A lot happened that week. Enough happened during that week that superseded connections I've had across my entire fucking life. Of course, you'd feel emotionally complex because you have to realize the same dude who was refusing to take no for an answer and sliding his hands under your clothes and putting you against walls and doing this to you when you were drunk. Like, it's the same dude who treated me with a lot more humanity and care and saw me for what I was and who I was more than most people do and still liked what he saw and treated me with respect and all that. Debatable on if he liked what he saw enough to marry me, but then again, he was fine with every single thing. The only time he really had an issue was when religion came up in homeschooling. But whatever. Now it's past tense, it's loved. I'm getting to the point where I don't know. Do I want to make another video talking about how amazing Mitchell was to me? I also was a little upset last night and this morning because I remembered something really big that happened between me and Mitchell. And I was annoyed that I forgot it. I was like, fuck. I was annoyed because it's like I'm forgetting really good memories with this person who I don't want to forget at my core and all the beautiful moments we shared. At the same time, I'm like, holy shit, I'm forgetting Mitchell. Do I want to make myself remember, or do I want to let myself naturally forget things that happened between us before he's just totally a stranger in a passing blip and I no longer recall anything about him? Do I want to remember the good about him, and do I want to remember only the good? Do I want to remember only the bad? Is it safe to remember both? Is it safe for me to actually have a person where it's like, this is the dude who's the gaslighting narcissistic piece of shit? This is the dude where he did this bad thing and that bad thing and this other red flag and holy shit, how did I forget this thing and oh my god, and then have all these bad memories never watered down staying in my brain to always piss me off and depress me over how I didn't realize how bad it was what he was doing to me. It's like some memories need to be watered down and forgotten just so I don't feel anger all the time. But I don't want to forget them to the point where one day, what if he came back? And then what if I forgot all the bad he did? And then it's history repeats itself. I don't want that. And then two, do I want to remember all the good? I'm already watering down certain memories because I decided that it would be more painful than beneficial for me to remember the way he looked at me, as if I mattered. To remember the way his kisses felt on my face and how he could not dare to have even longer than 20 seconds, or even 10 seconds without some part of his body touching mine. If anything, I remember at the bus stop, when I was talking to him, and we were having a bit of a soft moment where he let his defenses down, and I let my defenses down. There was a moment where you saw sadness in his eyes. You saw that he was yearning for me a little bit. And he tried to reach out and, like, touch the side of my waist, but I was feeling overstimulated because it was a very intense, heated conversation we had just been having. And I remember I just gently said, "Oh, I don't want to be touched right now, just not right now." And then he immediately flipped shit and was like, "Oh my fucking god, what? What? Now you feel so unsafe around me that I can't touch you? I can't touch you? I've been touching you for days and now I can't touch you? You see me as that fucking bad?" And I was like, "No! Jesus Christ! Oh, I'm so sorry for being artistic and self-aware in my body that as much as I like you, I feel overstimulated and I can't fucking touch me right now because I might have a fucking breakdown otherwise, and I need to feel safe, and I have a past of being touched when I don't want to be touched, and that worsens me, and I like you, and I want to make sure that I'm rational during this conversation." We see how that went, considering I slammed my head against a bus stop. But to his respect, he tried not to touch me. Unless I reached out and grabbed his hand first for the rest of the interaction at that bus stop. I don't know. I don't want to remember the way he looked at me, as if I mattered to him, because it'll just make me angry again. Because I have a history of people looking at me as if I truly mattered to them, and smiling and smirking the same way, as if I meant something. And he did too much, and it hurts too much to know that if it wasn't fake, then whatever was real, he would prefer to. Someone who acted so afraid of. Someone who acted so fucking afraid of me abandoning them. That was another thing he brought up at the bus stop. How scared he, like, no, actually, like, he brought it, yeah, he mentioned that he was scared of being seen as disposable and that he'd be just another forgotten guy in my story that gets talked about to someone else. Doesn't it make it ironic? Because look at us now. 2 months later, here I am talking to him like he's just another guy in just another fucked up story. Both at the bus stop and in the 9-hour phone call we had after the 2-month mark, like in late January when we had the 9-hour phone call, he said it both times. He was like, "Oh, what? So I'm just as bad as any other guy you've been with?" But the difference between me at the bus stop is that I was like, "No, no, you're not even close. You're not even close. Come on now." Like, still, though, that was bad. I didn't like that, but obviously I don't see you as evil. But then, compared to how I felt at the end of January after a month of being ghosted and his terrible actions, and actually processing everything, I was like, well, yeah, nigga, if the shoe fits, maybe if you don't want to be seen as bad as fucking any other guy I've been with, don't try to be as bad as any other guy I've been with. You went out of your way to abandon me. You went out of your way to try to sexually assault me. You knew that no means no. You knew that I was drunk. You knew I could barely fucking move. You knew it, and you still tried to do it. So, fuck you. The 9-hour phone call had some heated moments. I remember any moment where I dared to hold him accountable or dared to refuse to, like yeah, he kept trying to gaslight and revise history and say things that didn't happen, and if they did happen he didn't mean it like that, and otherwise if it did happen and he did mean it like that, then maybe I deserved it. He was doing the typical narcissistic one. And I remember specifically whenever I shot back against him for that, or I stood my own fucking ground, or even pushed back on him a little bit too, and made it clear how pathetic I found him and how he was being, he tantrumed even harder. And I remember there was a point in the phone call which was a little bit funny and maybe a little bit arousing, but that's just me and my fucked up little self. I remember there was a point in the phone call where he was just like, you see, you're such a fucking liar. You're a stupid fucking liar. You're a fucking liar. You just want to ruin every fucking positive memory I have of you, don't you? And I shot back with the same energy. I was like, fuck you, nigga. You're the one who's a fucking liar, and you're fucking stupid. And you're the one who wants to ruin every good memory I have of you by acting like a fucking child. And he was like, you're acting like a fucking child. I said, you're acting like a fucking child. And we both were acting like fucking children. We were like the Spider-Man meme of, fuck you. You want to ruin my opinion of you. Liar. But it's like, nigga, you're. And also, I thought to myself, oh, so I'm a fucking liar just because I happen to have gone through bad things. And conveniently, any bad thing you've done to me just didn't happen. Like, it's like, I'm such a. And also, that's how I knew he didn't fucking feel bad or any regret or remorse over what he did. Because I thought, like, it's like, he would not be acting that way otherwise. But the most hurtful thing is. I don't know all of it. We all know how conversation eventually went. Conversation eventually wound down. He knew how to disarm me a little bit. He knew just the right things to say about how his main goal for the trip was that he just wanted to see me smile. And it broke his heart and got him shocked and off guard that he would dare to do anything that could possibly hurt me. Because he didn't want to, you know? And he also mentioned how he was. The reason he ghosted was he felt a lot of emotional overwhelm. And I have this on video in case he wanted to gaslight me. I recorded portions of like 2 hours worth of our conversation because this nigga gaslights. And I was like, if he's gonna try this shit again, I want to be able to have defenses. But specifically, the way this man, he just said that he brought up a specific photo. He said, do you remember that photo I took of you during one of the days of our trip where you were on your way to the bathroom after using my phone to record the lobby? And he said, I kept looking at that photo and smiling because I genuinely felt so happy that I was able to make you smile that big. And I never wanted there to be a second on that trip where you weren't smiling that way. And he talked about how he enjoyed the times on the trip where he was able to sing to me and sing for me, and how we were able to just like walk around and talk for hours without ever being bored of each other. He knew the right things to say, even though I know it's a lie, because it's like he was happy. He was entirely fine seeing me slam my head against that bus stop emotionlessly, and he didn't react at all. No comfort, no "are you okay," no "what's happening," nothing. He just watched me do it. He only reacted when he thought he was gonna get stabbed. Maybe one can debate, oh, what if he did think you were going to cut yourself? You were putting the knife to your wrist. But still, he saw me put the knife to my wrist and still somehow thought that I was going to stab him. Something is wrong with that man, and that's coming from me. He truly didn't want to see me smile. He truly did not care about how I felt. That's why he ghosted. He's a selfish fucking man. That's why he did everything bad to me that he did. Because he's fucking selfish and he didn't care. You want to know what else? Sorry. I pissed myself off so much that I'm actually catching myself off guard on where I want to go next with this. I'll say it like this. He knew the right things to say in that phone call in the moment, just to make me feel temporarily disarmed. And the conversation got light. And the next thing you know, it stopped being conversation about if he truly felt sorry for what he did, if he truly regretted what he did, any of that. I knew he didn't. I knew I knew everything. But he even explained, like, it just got to a point where he was vulnerable and being nice to me. And I was lonely and I liked that, so I was willing to see where it happened next conversationally. He did eventually admit some things. He admitted he was scared of being with me because he has a very routine life and he didn't know where I could fit. He was afraid that he would be boring to me, and he was scared about how intense he felt in such a short amount of time in relation to me. He didn't expect it to go the way it did, and he was scared every step of the way. Fair. Maybe he was just saying what I like to hear, but something in me just doesn't believe that. I think he actually did mean it. And how he was just scared and didn't know how to handle a lot of his emotions or a lot of what was happening for me and for him and whatnot. But that I think I already knew. It's like, no offense, every single step of the way with him, I could just tell this is a man who at his core is terrified and wants to be seen as a good person. And so he will do stupid shit in the process of trying. I really did. And even then, despite all that, I still admired him. You know? I hate that I did. I hate that I should see him as a sucking piece of shit, but no, I see him as a beautiful man with flaws. I see him kind of like how you would find, like, a diamond or moissanite that has some inclusions in it. Like, okay, you're a little cracked. You got some scratches on you. You got something wrong inside of you. But clearly I have no issue with it because I still want you. And I still like you. And even if I can't have you, it doesn't stop me from liking you and admiring you for all of your beauty and your flaws, you know? I just saw a very insecure man who was scared. And then conversation, well, we can guess how conversation went because the first hour or two was rough. But then next thing you know, conversation just went into like him talking about how time has been away from me, how my time's been away from him, the copious amounts of Mountain Dew I was drinking to cope, like, you know, like parts of my life, parts of his life. And then next thing you know, conversation just turned into like sharing stories about our families and our estrangement and maybe and how he wants to one day get therapy and how he feels like he needs to get like several hours of therapy, like he 2 hours like twice a week type shit. And I told him that, of course, no wonder you haven't started therapy because that's way too much at once. The best thing you can do is start off with like a small 15-minute session to just like feel how you feel and talk about what you want. And then 30 minutes later, you can have like, yeah, like you could have a 30-minute session and then once a week and start off small. And then eventually you can choose to increase your hours. And I told him therapy's not that bad. I told him, yeah, like before I met you, I was already doing extremely bad mentally. But when I got therapy, my therapist, like, you know, she had the right amount of sass and charm where all it took was one session to take me from like piss bottles around my bedroom, lying on my floor, drinking endless amounts of alcohol to like next thing you know, I was like a week or so, like I was like 2 weeks clean off of alcohol, limited, like I stopped dating for a bit and I was actually making full on artwork in ways that I haven't done in years. Like it can really be a blessing. At my core, I do hope Mitchell gets therapy. Like, come on, man, you have a good job, you have a lot of money, you can afford to go to therapy. Your health insurance at your fucking job, at your stupid fucking tech job, probably fucking covers it. Get therapy. Jesus, stupid ass white man. I'm gonna see now. I want to leave him a mean voicemail, but his voicemail is probably clogged to the brim for reasons I don't feel like saying. Probably all my old voicemails that he hasn't deleted and other things. But let's not talk about it. Let's pretend I didn't say that in Mitchell core fashion. But yeah, I liked Mitchell a lot. I did. I wish that he was just. I wish that he let himself be more vulnerable. So for the 9 hour phone call, when things got good between us, I just let him be vulnerable. Because you know what? I wanted to see him as a nice guy. I wanted to have him be nice to me. I wanted to be nice to him. And conversation, next thing you know, it was a 9 hour phone call where we were just talking as if we were friends. And it felt really good. It felt just as good as it felt when I first met him before he had attempted to rape me when I was drunk. It felt nice. But we all know how this story ends, considering the same flaws Mitchell showed at the bus stop, he showed in a later conversation. The final phone call we had ever had. He didn't show me any grace. He was defensive, he was scared, and he was... I remember in that specific phone call, he told me that he wasn't sure if we could be friends because he was scared that he would want more out of me. Like, romantically. He's still a pathetic coward who's scared of his emotions. The fifth day we hung out, the week of Christmas, the fifth day. So, like, or actually, I think it was the fourth day. Yeah, it was the fourth day. So it was like the morning after or so. Everything at this point with us was fine, as if nothing bad happened between us. And I remember we were just sitting in the lobby, and it was like early afternoon, and we were talking, and eventually I forget how it came up. But I think he brought it up first. I think he did bring up, like, actually, I do feel like there have been tensions about, like, me not having sex with you. And I feel like that maybe has kind of led for you to resent me. I feel like there has been a bit of an awkward or sad energy from you these past few days, like passively. Like, it's small, but it's there. And I guess I just kind of thought to myself, I'm scared as fuck. But I have to make this first move. I have to be the one to say it. So I said, what did I say exactly? My memory's a bit fucked because I have not drinking enough water and I'm hungry. And by the way, I probably should order food soon. Maybe I'll get groceries this time instead of just some happy hour meals to be responsible. But as I was saying, eventually me and Mitchell, I sat there in front of the fireplace in the lobby, and I told him, and I think we did have a little sherry at this time too. Fucking alcoholics. But I did tell him, I have feelings for you. That I think I've been scared of this whole time because I didn't know how to address them, because we had a pre-agreed arrangement where things were supposed to end. Like, it was just supposed to be like a day or two we hang out for Christmas and then we never see each other again. And I've been scared because I guess I've been having feelings for you that have been ramping up over these days, and the connection has felt so strong, and I've really liked this, and I'm scared. I'm scared because I don't know, like, if I like you, and I wasn't sure if you liked me in the same way, and I guess I felt that you'd been tense about it too, and I've been secretly just fucking terrified because it's like behind every amazing moment with us, it would still be in the back of my mind, like, this is gonna end soon. This is gonna end, and I don't know what's going to happen, but it's gonna happen, and it's gonna hurt, and we can't have that. And I just, and like, and I just thought to myself, I still have to be on guard. I can't let myself feel the full extent of my emotions, because I thought if I do, I'm letting my guard down and I can get hurt. And if I were to tell him, like, hey, Mitch, like, I didn't want to be the first to do it and embarrass myself to some guy who probably just was going to see me as disposable or was just having fun and just being silly. And I told him, it's like, I was afraid to tell you this because I thought, if you want, I just told him, if you want to end things with me and just never see each other again after this, that's entirely fine. I can handle that. But I still had to, I told him this, and I was like, I just had to tell you, I have feelings for you. And I've secretly been wanting more, and I don't want this to be the last time we see each other, and it's been scaring me because I wasn't sure how you felt, so it's been making me afraid to even address how I feel, and I've been trying to tuck my emotions down. But that's the sadness you've probably noticed. It wasn't me hating you because we haven't been able to have sex. I didn't even need sex to have a great time with you and to get this way with you emotionally. This is just naturally me feeling emotions for you. I remember I said that trying not to cry, but I was still upfront and honest. I remember I specifically said the words, and I'm sorry if this is a little gay, to be crying like a little punk ass bitch, but I'm sorry, it's just how I feel, and you don't have to feel the same way, but I just have to tell you I've been enjoying every single moment of this, and it breaks my heart to think that you've been thinking I haven't, and I've been enjoying it so much that's been fucking scaring me, man, because I like you a lot, and I don't know what's gonna happen next. I remember that as I said that, I saw the tears well up in his eyes, and he seemed really relieved, and he looked like he stopped holding his breath, and he started holding my hand. And he told me the same thing. He admitted that's how he felt towards me this whole time, and he was fucking terrified. And it showed at the bus stop, it showed at other moments. I could tell he was getting more possessive of me and jealous, and that he was scared that that he was just one day gonna be some dude in a story who doesn't matter to me. Far from it. Even 2 months later, I'm still able to say he mattered to me. And it makes me sick to my fucking stomach. Complimenting men makes me disgusted. And liking men makes me sick, because we all know how this story ends, so I can't even be too happy about this very sweet memory. We know what happens next. Uh, well, now I'm not sure how much more I want to talk about this, but I'll say it like this. He told me, and he spilled his heart out, and he was vulnerable, and I liked that. But it still sucks now I had to be the one to start with that. I wish he could have done it to me and seen me as worthy of communicating, because he had any moment to do so. But I get it. He was scared of his emotions and he didn't expect for them to get that deep. But you wanna know what's fucked up? During the last phone call we had, he tried to gaslight me again. The final phone call. He tried to say the week between us in the first place, it was like, it was okay, it was fun, but it was like, like he tried to act like I meant nothing to him. Month, like, he has had this inconsistency about him. One second I'm being ignored for a month. The next second, he's on the phone admitting that he did have feelings for me and he wanted to see me smile all the time. And next thing you know, we have a 9 hour fucking phone call where he's just acting like I told him several times during that phone call. I said, "You sound tired. Hey, you just fell asleep on the phone. You should probably hang up, man. It's okay. We could talk some other time, you know." You want to know what he did? He acted like I didn't say fucking anything because he didn't want to hang up. And he stayed on that fucking phone with me. And he refused to hang up repeatedly. He fell asleep on that phone, and so did I. And then the second he woke up at 8 a.m., the first thing he did was say, "Tamia, hey, Tamia, are you there? Tamia?" And I was like, "Oh, hey, Mitchell, how you doing?" And we started talking again for like another hour, almost 2 hours on the phone. And I'm supposed to believe that it was all in my head. I spent a week of Christmas convincing myself that any true feelings of infatuation or obsession that he was getting my direction, it was all a facade and it was all fake. Just for him to tell me it was real and then vanish as if I meant nothing, then come back and do that. And then, hell, the only reason that phone call ended was because I mentioned a story with another man and he got a little touchy about it, so it ended. And then here a week of like us talking every day, not too often, like every few hours or so, but even then I remember specifically during that week I said something like he didn't respond for a bit, so I said, "Oh, I see, I didn't realize it, I'm sorry, I've been bothering you."